All right, good morning. Welcome back here to Trader Minute. Great to have you aboard. Market's been open here for about 18 minutes. It's been an interesting open, and one where pretty much at the open, some of the orders that I was looking at to be a buyer, or some of the things I was looking to be a buyer of, I immediately just said, nope, I got to wait. Let me show you why. For me, it came down to Micron. Take a look at Micron. Take a look at this stock trading up pre-market up here at 37.60, and it starts to bleed into the open, and then boom, opens at a completely different level here for Micron, almost $1 lower than where it was pre-market. What's that tell me? Well, tells me that momentum money isn't coming into this market this morning. We're not going to see momentum money. And momentum money is what is needed to really see a big move, right? So it tells me, okay, moves are going to be a little bit more tempered. What's that mean for option values? Yuck. Just yuck. They're not going to appreciate. One that I kept on and I kept watching. I'm still watching. I still have an order ready. Is Under Armour. But you can see the spreads on this. I mean, they've come in a little bit, but they're still 30 cents on the call side here for Under Armour. So not even tradable, despite any of my analysis or anything of liking it or not. It is just absolutely untradeable right here. So it's given me pause. Here with that, with that open. Overall, it's a fairly bullish open with the stocks that are moving up versus moving down, but the magnitude of change on things is very small. It's very small. We're not talking about big magnitude of changes. One that I was looking at to say, okay, you know what? Maybe I get a buy opportunity in FCX, right? I mean, we're talking about moving a penny. It's off its highs a little bit, but not a huge magnitude of movement here with a lot of things. Now, because of the lack of momentum money coming into the market, and that's not a huge surprise. I mean, we talked yesterday about, the Fed upcoming, the trade talks and everything upcoming here with the G20 conference and President Trump and the Chinese premier. They're meeting for dinner Saturday night, and we've heard all sorts of speculation. And, to see the market on its hands just a little bit into that is not a huge surprise. And, it's one of those where, yes, the market open is bullish, and it's one that I ultimately do expect to go higher here. I have to look at it and go, okay, are the option values going to appreciate? If I go and buy an FCX, if I go and buy an Under Armour, am I going to see the option values really appreciate here? And obviously, if I'm in one that moves big, sure. But the ones that are moving bigger have catalysts associated to it. Outside of that, there's very little catalyst. Now, one exception for me is Pepsi, and this one is one that, look, I want Pepsi puts if I'm comfortable the market's going up, right? Yeah, Pepsi will go down if the market goes down huge, right? If the market just collapses, Pepsi will go down. But for Pepsi to come back to the 112, 111 area, it pretty much needs the market to stabilize and drift higher, right? And we saw this sharp move down, and we've now kind of seen this little flaggy action here for Pepsi. And, this just, overall just very normal type of action to see, but one that we haven't seen that downside follow through. For me, a break of 115, I start to get a lot more interested, here with Pepsi. I'd love to see a top-down reversal, meaning, it up 80 cents and then end the day down 20 cents type of a deal. But this one's getting close. I have priced out the options. It has a dividend here of about, 98 cents coming up. So the options kind of seem overpriced. But that's because essentially the in the money, out of the money is shifted by $1. So if you look here at Pepsi and you look at the put options, these 115s, they're showing out of the money, But in reality, when you account for the dividend, they're in the money, right? You also look at the implied volatility on Pepsi, and it's extremely low. Extremely low. So it's not one where there's a lot of IV risk associated with Pepsi, and that's something that appeals to me, something that I like. But I do have to take into account what happens if the market decides to roll over. That's a serious risk, right? That's a legitimate risk. And we look at Facebook this morning opening higher and trading red. We look at some of the casinos, same difference. Some of the industrials, same difference, right? That open higher and now trading in the red. What's that? What's that level where you go, all right, you know what? It's time to load up on the short side for the market. Well, for me, it's still kind of that same level that we talked about earlier this week, the lows from Monday. But that's a long way away, right? That is an absolute long way away. And there's a long way to go for the market here today. And so I don't think there's an absolute level where you go, well, if this level breaks, boom, it's off and down to the down we go. But we are coming into an interesting level, and one where if we start to see more sell pressure than buy pressure, could get interesting real fast here with it. So, it's one of those here where this morning, do I have enough movement potential? Probably not. Eyes were on Apple as well. It gapped up about $1.50, up $2. Now it's up $1.50. Am I going to get that $6 movement that I need in the options to really do something? Those chances are pretty slim given what this open has been here so far. So I'm going to back away from this open. I'll let it play out for the next hour and a half, and kind of see where some of the signals lie, see where some of these stocks end up trading at. We see the banks trying to give up some of their gains here this morning, but again, it's very early. One of the things I mentioned in my note this morning, the range on overnight futures. Yeah, the market was up 12 points here pre-market, but the range on futures overnight, one of the tightest overnight ranges that we've seen. Yeah, it's still a pretty hefty range, right? 17 points. It's still a pretty decent range, but one of the tightest that we've seen in a long time. And that is just something that, makes you wonder and go, okay, are we going to get, enough movement here on the day to really kind of say, hey, you know what? These calls, these puts are going to appreciate in a big, big way. And it suggests that no. It suggests that no, at least here for the open. Now, that could all change with a catalyst, right? A catalyst could change that very easily and very quickly. But so far, there's not much of a catalyst out there in this market. You just bring up something like a front page of Market Watch, for example, right? And you don't have to read anything if you want to understand what the market is today. You don't have to read a single thing. You can just kind of look. Why the bloodletting in FANG stocks is just getting started. Okay, that's not news, right? That is not news. That's not anything going on. That's an opinion. This bear market signal is throwing investors off the set. Okay, that's not news. That's nothing going on there. That's opinion. Stock market sell-off is only half done. Final leg will come in 2019. Okay, same stuff, right? This is nothing new, nothing different than what we have seen over the last month and a half, right? It's the same stuff. You come into here, Dow changes are coming as United Technology and DuPont head for... Okay, Zillow expects home... There's just no news here. It is just, yes, there's some stuff happening, but there's nothing really going on here with it. And when you go to any of the news sites out there, it's the same thing. Here this morning. And so, with that type of environment, this gap up and seeing Micron, open and fade very quickly, leaves me looking and going, okay, Are we really? Does the market really have a great chance of big movement here today? Now I know, okay, well, why don't we just go short Micron with the reversal? I hear you, Tom, with that question. But if you take a look at Micron, here we are with the 37. Here, let me pull up the hourly. Here we are with this 37.5 level, right? Knocked off the last 4 days. It just hits this level and drops, right? It has just hit this level and dropped. This morning it did it as well. There's been no buying support at this level. For me, I would not mind buying Micron, but I need to see that buyers come in at this level. And so far we have not seen any of that here with it. Okay, so anyway, that's quick look at the open here. Again, I don't think it's overly bullish. I don't think it's overly bearish. I think it just kind of fits that neutral thesis more than anything for the majority of things. There are some upgrades, downgrades out there, like Alaska Airlines that's getting a big shot up because of its upgrade, from Goldman Sachs, but not exactly tradable. I do like the price action on Under Armour. Just can't get into the options. We'll see. They're starting to compress here. $1.30 to $1.47. All right, so they're coming into the 10-15% area now. So they're starting to get a little bit cheaper. We'll see what those look like here. It'll probably take another 20-30 minutes for them to really kind of compress back into a tradable format there. Okay. All righty. Thanks for hopping on. Any questions, please let me know. I will. I'll keep my thoughts posted there in the video or in the stream, and we'll talk to you later. Take care.